Hey, what's going on, you guys? Jay here, and welcome back to the channel. We've got some pretty wild news to go over here on the channel, and the more I looked into this, the more interesting it really became. And I started to think to myself, well, this at face value doesn't really seem like much, but it's sending a very strong signal. And that really is that gold in itself isn't really this rare earth mineral. It's more the mining process, it's more the refining process. There are many different global reserves out there, and the amount of gold that's been pulled out of the earth and the amount that will be probably pulled out of the earth in the future is going to be absolutely insane. It's actually quite interesting. Like I said, the more you dive into this, the more you really begin to believe in Bitcoin, the more you start to understand that although, right, they might be able to get a load of scientists together in a lab and they might be able to create gold, they're never ever going to be able to reproduce the Bitcoin experiment. It's something that is very unique. It was designed for a very specific purpose, and it's essentially to free us all from the banks, from the financial ecosystem, and to give us control over our money as we go into this very uncertain future. And gold has always been seen as a very certain asset, and with experts now predicting that Bitcoin dominance is going to rise as scientists have, yes, created lab-grown gold. And what I want to do is actually dive into this and really give you my perspective and really let you know how I'm thinking about this and how I'm feeling and what the mindset really is behind this. And to really understand this, we need to understand how did they actually go ahead and create gold in a lab. Now, it's not just as simple as using a chemistry lab in a school with a few science teachers. This was actually done at the Large Hadron Collider at CERN, and this is near Geneva. If you don't know what this is, honestly, go out there and read a book. I'd be very shocked if you didn't know what this was. And they have revealed that some 86 billion gold nuclei were created during the accelerator's second run between 2015 and 2018. And this was all from smashing together lead atoms at around 99.99% the speed of light. And that results in a tiny quantity of gold amounting to just 29 trillionth of a gram. So it is a minuscule amount of gold. It's probably only visible under a certain magnification on a microscope. Now, what you want to pay attention to here are the dates, which are 2015 and 2018. And if we actually go and we look at another article that's diving into this, we can actually see that they only just reported the results on May 8th, 2025, and that's highlighted here. And I think that's critical because if you think about it, if they were able to do this during 2015 to 2018, well then just how far has this technology advanced over the course of almost 7 years? Looking at a brief prompt from an AI overview, we can see that it's not just particle accelerators that are able to bombard elements like mercury or platinum with high energy particles. It's also nuclear reactors. So at some point in the future, people who own nuclear reactors could essentially produce their own gold bars. This starts to tell us, right, that Bitcoin is a unique asset. It's a highly valuable asset, and no one is ever going to be able to print Bitcoins off in a lab. No one is ever going to be able to replicate this process. We truly are living in exponential times. So you're probably thinking to yourselves, 29 trillionth of a gram, Jay, it's not exactly a huge amount, and the cost is astronomically expensive and currently inefficient to really produce. So this leaves us with a few questions, really. Is this going to impact Bitcoin's price? Is this going to be something that comes down in price in the future? And I really do think there is a valuable piece of information out there that we can go and we can look at to really see where this is actually going. And I think the diamond market is the best example to really go by. Take yourself all the way back to 1954 and join the General Electric Company, and you might have been part of Project Superpressure. That was a multi-million-dollar research effort that began in the 1940s, and it finished in December 1954 with them successfully creating the world's first synthetic diamonds using a high-pressure, high-temperature HPHT process. So that's overly complex. It cost many $1 million during that time. the evaluation of money goes up over those periods of time. So that would have been a considerable amount more. A multi-million-dollar project back then was probably a multi-billion-dollar project. So you're probably saying to yourselves, wow, okay, so how much does it actually cost to create a lab grown diamond? Is this an expensive process? How much can I actually go out and get one of these lab grown diamonds for? And you'll be surprised. And the diamond market itself is starting to see a balance out, and we'll get onto that shortly. But if you want to go and produce a CVD lab grown diamond compared with a $4,000 per carat in 2008, it's going to cost you around $300 to $500 per carat. That is a serious amount of money off compared to a real mined diamond. There's absolutely no difference between a lab grown diamond and a mined diamond. They are 100% the exact same thing. And yet, like I said, the market is now starting to balance out. And if we look at this chart, we can see the prices beginning to equalize out. We can see that lab grown diamonds share of the total US diamond jewelry sales is around 46%. So we've actually got this multi-billion-dollar process back in the late 1950s, which is now ending up in 2025 as a $300 to $600 process per diamond. Are you starting to see the correlation here? Can you see how we are starting with this very, very small scientific experiment that's probably going to lead to the downfall of gold? And there's probably going to be a lot of people protesting about this in the future as they begin to do more tests. And I think they will get more efficient at it. Why wouldn't you want to be able to produce more gold? The destruction that it causes on a global scale is absolutely horrendous. I think a lot of you who live in the United States will understand what it does to the quality of water in those mountainous town areas. I myself traveling in the United States and speaking with a lot of people, and that was something that a lot of you spoke to me about quite heavily. I'm all about these eco-friendly alternatives, and I really do think Bitcoin truly is the new digital gold. And as Michael Saylor always says, there is no replacement for Bitcoin. There simply is only ever going to be Bitcoin, and that supply is forever limited. And although, right, they're not going to be able to cultivate it in a lab, they're not going to be able to recreate it in a lab, they could definitely use some of those nuclear reactors to mine a serious amount of Bitcoins. And then I start to think to myself even deeper, right? And I say, well, hang on a minute, why couldn't a group of Saudis, right, get together, purchase a nuclear power plant, use it, right, to mine Bitcoin, and then also use it to produce gold? This is a peculiar situation because something that we haven't spoke about during this video is gold's use and utilization in space technology. We'll have to break all of that down in another video. I think that's enough for today. It's a good Sunday video. It really gets your mind thinking. It's something that really, I don't know, it captivated me, and I thought to myself, hang on a minute, this is how diamonds really started out, and now we're seeing the downfall of a diamond market. Before these lab-grown diamonds came around, the market itself was moving quite well, and now it's starting to level out because, again, more people are opting in for these cheaper diamonds, which is really shutting down the majority of a diamond market. But look, guys, if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe, drop a comment, drop a like on the way out, hit the notifications bell to stay informed, and I'll catch you in the next one.